George Santos is just having, what do I say, a bad week, a bad month, a bad life. A bad life for sure. Because more and more keeps coming out. More people keep coming out against him, including, we looked at on yesterday's show, the press conference from New York Republicans speaking out against him, saying he should resign. And so I want to look at a few interesting details that are being revealed right now, and then him being confronted by reporters. Very interesting every single time he's confronted. But the first is Talking Points Memo put out a piece, and it is extensive. It walks through the those who were close to him, a couple sources who no longer work for his campaign, kind of revealing the fishy stuff that they knew was going on. And it has to do with the financial world within the campaign. And we've talked about that. Some questionable spending of his campaign dollars, questionable funding, and we'll let that be looked into to really figure out the details. But at one point in this Talking Points Memo piece, one of the individuals who worked with him said that, quote, lying on your resume is one thing, but I think George is going to be perp walked out of a building because of this financial mess. So the questionable campaign finance related issues, which again, we need to really get more information on to know exactly what he did, is what this former staffer of his thinks will take him down and will lead to him getting sent to jail, is what's being alluded to there. Well, before we look at the journalists approaching George Santos, I want to look at Kevin McCarthy getting asked if George Santos should resign.
County GOP called on him to resign today. Does that affect your thinking at all? What do you intend to do about Congressman Santos?
I try to stick by the Constitution. The voters elected him to serve. If there is a concern and he has to go through the ethics, we'll let him move through that. But right now, the voters have a voice in the decisions, not where people pick and choose based upon what somebody's press has.
So he's saying, no, he shouldn't resign. And his justification is the voters chose George Santos to be the representative. No, the voters chose a guy who was named George Santos, who looked like this George Santos, who talked like this George Santos, but worked at Citigroup and Goldman Sachs and had this charity that was doing good things and didn't have investigations into him in Brazil and didn't falsely claim that his mother died in 9/11 and was Jewish and all these different, that's who they voted in, not whoever this guy is. Now, I don't even know if I should call him George Santos because it seems like that actually, this is less serious, but isn't the name that he's gone by for a very long time. Take a look at this.
Folks, another important speaker, another congressional nominee, George Santos. George, who we know is a friend, and he's known as Anthony DeVolder to me. So I don't know where George Santos came into the thing, but that's what it says.
So at this previous event, Anthony DeVolder was, I guess, the name this guy was more familiar with. Now, the only reason why that's funny is the phrase people were using was, his name might not even be George Santos when all these lies came out. Now, plenty of people switch around which ones are their names. I think his full name is something like Anthony George Santos DeVolder or something like that. So you can do that. Sometimes George Santos might be cleaner on a campaign sign. That doesn't bother me at all. But it is funny because so often when we walk through the lies, it's like, is his name even George Santos? And then clips come out where someone's going, wait, I thought his name was Anthony DeVolder. Very interesting. Here's him getting asked if he will resign.
Congressman, what's your reaction to members of your own party calling for your resignation?
Are you planning to resign?
Congressman, what about
For you to resign? Will you resign if the voters want you to
call for
resign?
142 people ask for me to resign? I'll resign.
Nope. Yeah, wait to answer the question until the elevator door is closing. So what he said is, if 142 people ask me to resign, I'll resign. And I was trying to figure out why. What? 142 people? And then I realized in a later interview I caught with him that he said 142,000 when he said it properly. There he didn't say 1,000. I think he messed up what he was trying to say. And that, I guess, is the size of his district. So he's saying if 142,000 of my constituents say I should resign, then I'll resign. How are you documenting that? Are you doing polling or something? No, that's the perfect way to say, listen, privately, discussions that y'all aren't privy to, most people I talk to in my district love me. So I'm going to stay their representative. Here's another interaction with the press.
Congressman Santos, will you resign?
I will not.
Will you step down?
I will not. Yes, we're gonna.
All right, he's very confident that he will not resign. But as most people note, everyone says very aggressively they're not going to resign until they resign. And so if he gets forced out, he'll have this attitude until the moment that he comes out and says he's resigning. But I think he's the type of person, based on how much of a pathological liar and just clearly wrapped up in a weird delusional reality that he is, he could be one of the people who sticks it out and serves his 2 years. And then he'll get crushed in his re-election attempt if he chooses to pursue that. But it will be an interesting 2 years with that one if he indeed does not resign, which of course he should. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get a full extra show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley, and there's a link in the description.